Alright, welcome everybody into today's video. So the question is, how can you increase the return of your Facebook or Instagram campaigns if you run a coaching, consulting, or any sort of business where you have a high ticket offer and you sell that high ticket offer through a call? Now in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you the 4 most common mistakes that I see people make whenever they run ads and whenever I audit their account. Now if you're new to the channel, my name is Marco and I'm the founder of Advantage Acquisition, where we help coaches, consultants, experts, agency owners, and service providers scale through paid ads, funnels, and data. Now, without wasting any time, let's dive right into the video and let me share with you the 4 mistakes that are likely costing you a ton of money. Now, if this is not the first time that you're seeing me, then you probably know what is the first mistake that I'm going to be telling you. The first mistake is tracking. You know that I'm obsessed with numbers, you know that I like to look at data, you know that I like to make my decisions based on numbers, based on certainty. I don't like to make decisions out of emotions. So because of that, tracking is going to be the number 1 mistake that I see people making all the time. You cannot even imagine the amount of times that someone books a call with me and they tell me, I tried running ads, or I'm running ads, but I'm breaking even, or I'm not making as much money as I would like to. A lot of the leads are unqualified, and I tell them, perfect. Can you share with me the tracker with the data so I can take a quick look at the numbers? And they tell me, yeah, I track some of the data from the ad account, then I have that tracker, but I don't know exactly where it is. And I think that the closer didn't update the calls in the CRM, but then the seller didn't talk to the closer. I'm like, man, you need to be tracking the data every single day. You cannot complain about not making enough money with the ads if your tracking is not dialed in 110%. 100% is not enough, 110%. Because the reality is that when it comes to a high ticket business, doesn't matter what you're selling, if you're selling a coaching program, if you're selling a service, doesn't really matter. The North Star metric is always gonna be the cost per qualified call. Now, what do I mean by North Star metric? By North Star metric, I mean how you are gonna be making the decisions. How are you gonna know when to scale up an ad, when to turn off an ad, when to make changes to the ad account? You're gonna know all of that through the cost per qualified call. And the only way to optimize the cost per qualified call is by tracking and knowing exactly where each call, each lead, and each sale is coming from. Which brings me to the point of free versus paid softwares to track the data. Now, if you are starting out, you're spending $50, $100, $150, $200 a day, I probably wouldn't suggest you to start using a software like Laurels, because it can be a little bit more expensive and probably you also don't know how to use it in the correct way. So what I would probably do in the beginning is I would just use something called a UTM code. So the way it works is very simple. I'm actually going to give you a real life example, okay? Let's say that we want to know exactly from which ad any call that is getting booked on our calendar is coming from. The only thing that we need to do is we need to go to the ad, scroll all the way at the bottom, and we need to set this URL parameter. Now, what it's going to do is very simple. The ad account is going to communicate with whatever software you're using to capture the lead. ClickFunnels, Go High Level, Webflow, or any type of software. Now, again, in most cases, you're going to be using ClickFunnels or Go High Level. So in this case, if we set it to Facebook, that's what I normally use. You can change it, of course. I normally use this: Facebook, pay-per-click, campaign name, and then the ad ID. So this is going to be dynamic. Now, what does that even mean? Let's say, for example, that today I get a call booked on my calendar. I go here, I take the email address from the person who booked the call, then I go on ClickFunnels, I click on Contacts, I go to All Time, I click on Search, and guess what? We can see the contact. So what do? We can click on the contact, we scroll all the way at the bottom, and we can see that the person came from this campaign here called VF Group A Prospecting 1907, and the UTM content is the following. Now, what is the UTM content? As I told you before, it's something dynamic. So now, if I go back to the ad account, I copy paste that number, I click on name ID, I scroll a bit down, I paste it. Guess what's going to happen? I'm going to be shown the exact campaign and the same ad that the person clicked on to book the call, okay? So that's how you do it. It's really simple. If you want to use manual tracking, you just simply use this code right here, and then you make sure that every single time that a call comes in, you track the source of that call. Very, very simple. So then you're going to be able to tell exactly how much you're paying for a call on each of the ads that you are running. And you can even go a step further. What you can do is you can have the calls coming in and you can grade them. Okay, this call was amazing. Perfect fit, perfect budget, qualified. Okay, I'm gonna grade it as an A call. This call was good, but not amazing. That's gonna be a B. And the third one was completely unqualified. I'm gonna mark it as a C. So then what you can also do for every call that comes in, you can see, okay, how many calls that are graded as A, meaning a perfect fit for my audience, are coming in? And what is the cost for a qualified perfect fit call? And then you go back to the ad account and you see exactly how much you paid, how much you spent on that ad. Okay, so that's gonna be the first mistake. Just make sure that the tracking is set up correctly. Second big mistake is overcomplicating the setup, especially if you have a small budget. You can see here that sometimes I analyze and I audit an account, someone's spending $100 a day. I go in and they have 4 campaigns, 10 assets, 20 ads, 2 funnels. And I'm like, do you know like where even the results are coming from? It's gonna be impossible to backtrack where the results are actually coming from. If you're starting out, or if you spend even like $100, $200 a day, keep it simple. If you spend $100 a day, all you need is 1 campaign, 1 ad set, and 6 different ads. Even less probably. Now, what do I mean by 6 ads? I explained it in one of my previous videos, which if you haven't checked it yet, go check it. I think it's going to be called Facebook Ads for Beginners 2024. And basically in that video, I explained the idea of a concept. So you can see here that we have 2 bodies and 3 hooks. Now, when it comes to the ad, the concept in simple words, let me actually give you a real life example. Let's say that you're running a remote closing offer. Now, whenever you write the script for the ad, there are many different ways that you could be using to explain the message. Let's say, for example, in one ad, the concept, the idea could be that to explain my point, I will be using the idea of a high income skill. Okay, and I'm going to be telling you, okay, if you want to live a life of freedom in 2024 and 2025, you want to set your own schedule, you want to be able to work from anywhere in the world, the key is not starting a business, the key is mastering a high income skill. So that's going to be the concept for the first video. And for that video, we can also create 3 different hooks. So in total, we're going to have 3 different variations, okay? But it's still going to be the same concept, the high income skill. Now, still for the remote closing offer, what I could also be doing is I could be using the angle of trashing other businesses. Hey, if you're thinking of starting a dropshipping business, if you're thinking of starting an Amazon FBA business, if you're thinking of starting trading, stop, because you are going to be burning your money. There is a much better way called remote closing. And these are just 2 concepts. Now, for every offer, there are probably hundreds of different ways to explain the message and deliver the message to your audience. So again, in this case, if you start with a low budget, $100 a day, start with 2 concepts, see which one get the best results. Whenever you see, okay, let's say for example that people don't really like this concept, I'm not getting a lot of calls and I'm not really getting a lot of quality, perfect, I'm gonna turn it off, I'm gonna keep this one, and then I'm gonna be creating a third concept. Okay, what could be the third concept? I'm running a remote closing offer. One angle could be being paid based on commissions rather than having a 9-to-5 where no matter how great you are, if you're lucky, you're going to be getting a 5-10% salary increase every year. That could be another ad concept. And you keep going, you keep going, you keep going. And trust me, after some time, you're going to have the perfect ad that's going to be speaking to your ideal audience and you're going to be literally printing money. Okay, that's how you do it. Then third mistake that I see people making all the time is that they are impatient. Okay, now I don't know if you have some sort of experience when it comes to e-commerce or dropshipping. In my case, I used to run an agency where I was helping e-commerce brands primarily in Italy get more sales. And when it comes to e-commerce, when it comes to dropshipping, the process of running ads is very different. Because in this case, you don't have a call, okay? People need to book a call to buy your product. You just have the ad, then you send people to the website, and if they're interested, they buy. And most of the times, like it's a very fast process. You can spend $100 on an ad, you can see right away, okay, am I getting sales? Yes, no. If I'm getting sales, perfect. For how much am I getting these sales? Is it profitable? Is it not profitable? Okay, I can decide to turn it off. When it comes to a high ticket offer, it's a little bit more difficult for 2 reasons. One, you are actually selling something expensive, meaning that Yes, you can spend $100 and get a sale, but it's pretty unlikely. As I always say, a good range to be in when it comes to ads is anywhere between 3 to 5x. Of course, and by 3 to 5x, I mean that if you spend 10 grand a month, you can make anywhere from 30 to 50K per month. Of course, there are some cases where you can get a 10x. There are some cases where you can get even a higher number, even 20x. We had a lot of clients that did that, but a lot of times it was the perfect offer at the perfect time, and it was just like perfect timing, perfect offer, and perfect person recording the ads, okay? If you have ads that are getting a 3 to 5x return, it's good, you can scale it up. But again, you are selling something that's expensive. And the second, it's not a problem, but it's just something that you do need to take into consideration is the sales cycle. Remember what I said before. You see the ad from an e-commerce brand. Okay, they're selling creatine, what was it? Creatine gummies. I don't even know who buys that. But okay, they have creatine gummies. I'm interested, I'm gonna buy. What is a sales cycle? I don't know. 10 minutes. That's it. Like someone see the ad, goes on the website and they buy. On a high ticket funnel, okay, they see the ad, they watch the VSL, then they book a call. The call is going to be in 3 days. Okay, maybe they don't show up. Then you need to reschedule another call. It's going to be in 2 weeks. And then maybe you close them on the spot. Maybe you're going to have to do some follow-ups. Like it takes more time. So that's why sometimes I see people spending a couple $100 on ads and then they go like, oh, I didn't close any client. It's not working. Let me turn it off. Do I even need to say anything? Like for real. Do I even need to say anything? We are doing business here. We're not playing around. So don't be so impatient, don't be so emotional, don't start changing things around if you don't see results after 24 hours or if for 24 hours the cost per lead goes up. Chill, okay? When it comes to ads, you play the long-term game, okay? And the fourth and final mistake that I see people make is that the moment they find a winning ad, all they do is they chill back, they relax, they think about how they're going to be spending their money, and then guess what? Then the performance goes down. So the fourth and final mistake that I see people make is the moment they find a winning ad, they stop testing. And that is the biggest mistake that you can make because it's just a matter of time before that winning ad is gonna die out in performance. And yes, you might be happy now with the performance. You might be happy that your calendar is fully booked, but I can guarantee you that the moment you see the call volume getting lower and the performance going down, you're gonna start to freak out. So as a suggestion, if you have a winning ad, you cannot relax, you cannot take your foot off the gas. You need to keep testing new creatives, you need to keep testing new messaging, you need to keep testing new ads because you don't just want to have one winner ad. You want to stack them on top of each other so then the foundation is going to be very, very strong. So that once again is the final mistake that I see people make. So if you make any of these mistakes that I talked about in today's video, then make sure to fix them as soon as possible because I can guarantee you that the moment you fix these problems is the moment that you're going to see your performance and your returns go up and up. So with that being said, as always, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button, make sure to subscribe, and if there is any specific type of content that you want to see, the only thing to do is you just need to send me a message on Instagram or you need to leave a comment down below telling me the topic for the next video. With that being said, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.